we're talking about the watercolors.
Yes. Normally, I do watercolors only to gather my imagery.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's very spontaneous reaction.
Okay.
I start working with watercolors
Okay.
just to develop any imagery,
Okay.
either still life or reflection series or anything,
Okay.
even sculpture.
Okay.
For
Right.
that matter, I just start doing sketching or with watercolors
Okay.
because you can finish it within one sitting.
Do you love to draw before the watercolor? You just want to
No,
start directly with the
it's
colors?
direct. It's
Direct.
most of the time direct.
Okay.
Because in watercolors you just apply one color,
Right.
and you see the reaction, and you start developing the forms,
Okay.
and you can add on it.
Haha.
Slowly you build the image.
Okay.
Slowly you build the image, and when you feel satisfied, you stop.
Right.
So that way I have done all my still life series.
Okay.
It's the only way because they're unpredictable. The forms
Unpredictable.
are unpredictable. They're like opening old attic and trying and finding some old forgotten things.
Right.
You are taking it out and wondering when I have kept it. I don't know. And so you develop the images that way.
That way.
So that was my reaction when I start watercolors. And I build slowly.
Okay.
I don't use most of like people washes,
Haha.
but I build slowly. I add on various tones
Okay.
while doing watercolors. So that's
your style.
that's my style.
And what about your paper pulp? You have been working on paper pulp for printing also.
Yes. Actually, paper pulp was the beginning when I wanted to do dimensional prints.
Okay.
When you do any print,
Haha.
it has a dimension.
Right.
Because you engrave the plate or you cut the block or
Right.
you etch the plate.
Right.
When you take out the print
Right.
without any ink,
Right.
you will get an emboss. But that emboss is too low.
Okay.
It is not tactile. You don't feel any great feeling when you touch the surface.
Okay.
But if you get low relief
Haha.
or bas relief,
Okay.
there you can see the dimensions physically
Okay.
as well as they cast shadows
Okay.
and gives the feel of the surface.
Okay.
So that way I started developing my paper parts.
Okay. You can have your tea, sir, please.
Thank you. What about you?
No, sir. It's okay. I'd like to go on with the filming. Please tell us.
I started using paper pulp as
Right.
a medium in 1990.
Okay.
I came across a monograph of Soumen of Wound series,
Okay.
and I visited paper factories in Pune before,
Right.
so I knew how the paper is being made.
Okay.
So the paper pulp has got the facility that it cannot hide the surface on which it is cast.
Okay. Okay.
Like any handmade paper, if you see the surface,
Okay.
you can see the felt mark or the wire mesh mark on
Okay.
it.
Right.
So because it is dried on that surface.
Right.
So I got that impression that yes, I can cast the paper pulp
Okay.
on any surface I feel like.
Okay.
So either you can build the surface in clay, wax, plaster, anything,
Okay.
or in styrofoam,
Okay.
or in wood,
Okay.
and you cast the pulp on top of it.
Right.
So there you will, after the casting is done, after it is dried,
Okay.
you can make out that this was cast on styrofoam
Okay.
because it reveals the surface of a styrofoam.
Okay.
If it is on wood, it will show the surface of a wood.
Okay.
If it is on leaves, large leaves,
Right.
it will show the surface of the leaf.
Okay.
Like a lotus leaf, you will see all the veins casted on the pulp.
Right. Right.
So I thought that this is the medium which can't hide anything. It's like a mirror.
Okay.
Wherever you cast, it will reveal the surface.
Right.
And it can catch the color also very fast.
Okay.
Then that I found it when I happened to put a cloth
Right.
on fresh paper
Okay.
with a mill mark. You see, when you buy a cloth,
Right.
there is a mill mark on it,
Absolutely. Right.
and that is of not pakka color. So if you put that cloth on a wet paper,
Right.
the paper catches the ink.
Absolutely.
It's like printing.
Absolutely.
So I tried that way
Okay.
to create water marks on cloth
Right.
and putting that cloth on the surface
Mm-hmm.
like printing. So why can't you
Okay.
print this way? So
Haha.
this is another way of transferring image.
Image.
Printing is nothing but transferring image
Transferring of the
from
image
one surface to another surface.
on the surface.
So if
True.
I draw anything like a this sack,
Ha ha ha. Yeah.
this
Please.
jute, this is the mark.
Right.
If you put wet paper on
Mm-hmm.
top of it,
It will get transferred to that.
yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is an image,
Right.
ready-made image. This one they have written on it.
Right.
So this is also a mark,
Absolutely.
and you will get this texture also simultaneously.
Absolutely. I'll get
So
that. Okay.
you don't get, you can't build these surfaces.
Right.
This is given thing. So
And
why
you,
not use it?
yeah, okay. Okay. Why not use it?
So I'm using this.
Right.
Ah, this one is a cloth.
Right.
There you see the texture of the cloth
Right.
and the bottom mark.
Right.
This can be transferred on
Okay.
paper. If you put in,
Please continue, sir. Please continue.
if you put a wet paper on the surface
Right.
and get through this an etching press,
Ha 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 ha.
what you will get? The paper will be pressed on top of it,
Right.
and this will be transferred on the paper.
On the paper.
On
Paper,
the
sir.
wet paper.
Right.
So it is like transferring an image
Uh-huh.
from one surface to another.
Another.
So this is also a print.
Right.
So
Right.
I can get an edition also if you want to. I will have different plates made for this.
Absolutely. So,
So
you
this
have to be innovative also in a way.
Actually, this gives you enough freedom,
Mm-hmm.
different kind of freedom
Right.
to explore the possibilities.
Possibilities.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So in paper pulp, I have tried this. Like
Okay.
I have used packing boxes,
Haha.
like apple box
Okay.
or mango box.
Right.
There you will see some markings on top of it.
Absolutely.
The sender writes something,
Right.
the name or the box mark or the number, whatever.
Right. True.
I have opened the box,
Okay.
laid on the surface on the table,
Ha ha ha.
and put paper pulp on top of it. So
Okay.
what you get is the impression of the wood,
Haha.
the box,
Right.
as well as the writing on it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's like a different surface.
Absolutely.
Because the box is for three-dimensional.
Right.
I'm opening it up and making it two-dimensional.
Absolutely.
So that way you can use any surface you feel like. Like broken glass
Haha.
will give that effect of broken glass.
Right.
Even rust iron,
Right. Right.
if your cloth, if you put any clamp
Right.
with rust,
Right.
your cloth get that rust mark
True.
and it can't be removed. It
Right.
is so permanent.
Absolutely.
So if I use that rust steel
Right.
for my print,
Okay.
so that color will be permanent.
Absolutely.
Because the pulp is made of cotton only.
Mm-hmm.
So it is more permanent than any color.
Wow.
And you cannot do away with that. So I'm using
Perfect.
that rust mark also as the image or as a print.
Right.
So that is possible only in paper pulp.
Okay.
Because the steel can have various dimension, thickness.
Haha.
On the press you can't do that.
Haha.
So you can use the sheet, wet sheet, while you take it from the vat,
Haha.
and you can just put it
On the surface, where you want to.
and leave it for drying.
Haha.
So while drying, what happens? There is a lot of water in the paper.
Right.
It allows to rust the surface more
Right.
and leave that mark for longer time.
Okay.
Or to lift the ink from any surface.
Haha.
So there you get more detailed impressions. Like I
Okay.
have used that palm leaf
Right.
and chatai.
Mm-hmm.
That grass mat, if you see
Right.
from Chennai or the south,
Okay.
they are painted with different vibrant colors.
Okay.
You see the strips of pink,
Right.
green,
True.
yellow,
True.
and the grass also leaves some color.
Okay.
And if you put paper pulp on that mat,
Haha.
what you will get is the texture as well as the color.
Wow. So you'll get the
So
texture
I
of the
have
mat.
used, yes,
Oh,
I have
okay.
used the whole mat
Uh-huh.
and put a palm leaf and
Uh-huh.
bamboo stick,
Okay.
and my work is done.
Okay.
So there I have not created any surface,
Right.
but I have used the existing surface to create my imagery. It's the assemblage of the surface.
Assemblage of the surface.
But
Wow.
while it gets transferred to different medium,
Mm-hmm.
it it changes the character. But
Okay.
you can make out the surface taken from which surface it is taken,
Okay.
whether it is mat, bamboo stick, or a
Okay.
palm leaf.
Okay.
So it really reveals. I have one of my work. I have used an apron.
Uh-huh.
I have put that apron on the surface.
Okay.
It was a red apron, and
Uh-huh.
I thought this is a perfect color and perfect shape.
Okay.
So I used red pulp
Okay.
on the red apron
Okay.
to make it look exactly like apron,
Oh.
and even the floor sweeping cloth,
Uh-huh.
pocha.
Right.
I used that also in cast.
Okay.
So there are different surfaces:
Right.
the board surface,
Uh-huh.
the mat surface, the apron surface,
Uh-huh.
and that cloth surface. So at the same
So you have
time,
multiple surfaces up there.
yes, it speaks their own language. Actually, the surface,
Right.
and it gives a different feeling.
The surface and the paper,
Yes,
all that works together and creates something different.
Magic.
Creates the magic. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're true. So it creates a magic, and the surface and the paper and the relation that you are creating, that's what you are doing.
Yes, that
Okay.
is that gives you revelations of different kind.
Absolutely.
Here you create your own image, you
Uh-huh.
scratch the plate, you bite the plate,
Right.
you do everything.
Right.
But there you just find the surfaces,
So-
select the surfaces,
So that was a
and
that,
use it.
so that was a that's a more experimental way of doing printing.
One can say.
Uh-huh.
But the temperament is of a printmaker.
No, that's true. That's very
That
true.
helps me to get those kind of effects.
Absolutely.
I'm not painting on it.
No, you're not painting
I'm
on
dyeing
it.
the pulp,
Right.
and use the dyed pulp.
Absolutely.
Whatever color is required.
Okay.
I'm not really painting on it.
Absolutely not.
Because if you paint any color on a pulp,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes flat.
True.
If the pulp is dyed, it radiates.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it becomes very flat, opaque, dull.
Right. Right. True. Very true.
That if you see any colored paper,
Uh-huh.
not printed paper,
Right.
but colored paper,
Okay.
it has a different glow.
Right. True.
But printed paper is a matte look, is a dead look.
True.
So I don't want that dead look, but really inviting look.
True. True.
So the pulp gives me that freedom.
So you're right now. Please have your tea. It's getting cold. So now basically you're into the pulp. Is your favorite medium right now? We can say.
You can say all mediums are favorite, but
Okay.
what catches my imagination, that is more important.
That is more important. Like what actually attracts you towards that.
Actually, paper pulp is very spontaneous.
Right.
You have to execute, you have to plan it,
Okay.
maybe 10 days, 15 days, whatever time it takes.
Okay.
But you have to execute it in no time. You have to start and finish it.
You have to start and
So
finish it.
you can't really come back and do it again and again.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to plan it and execute it. So because you have to keep the pulp ready,
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep the surface ready,
Okay.
and you have to cast it in one go.
Okay. So you have
So
to be very.
even this 4x6 surface
Uh-huh.
is finished in one day.
Okay.
So I have planned it a week.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Okay.
prepared the pulp. I have thought about the surface. I have arranged it so many times.
Okay.
And found out the solution, which composition looks perfectly all right.
Right.
And then I have casted it in one go.
Okay. Okay. That way, it's a very revealing thing, sir. Like I learned so much from you right now, and most I think people will benefit from this, and it's a revelation basically.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir. And it was like it's a short journey with you and with your process.
Thank
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.